Are You Really Going to Eat That? Podcast episode 147. Hey there, I'm your host Wendy Hill and I'm a naturopathic nutritional therapist and expert in female hormone health. I specialise in helping women gain confidence and understand their bodies, allowing them to shine. I'm a huge foodie and this podcast allows me to bring you an eclectic mixture of guests where food and health is our uniting passion. Camille, it's an absolute pleasure to invite you to welcome you to the podcast, Stephen. Can't get my words out today. Could you just give the listeners a little bit of a brief bio, tell them who you are and kind of what you've come here to talk to us today?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm a registered dietitian and I'm also a public health editor and writer for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's my day job. And I have started my business, Love to Lose, which stands for Love Your Life, Lose the Weight, which is my core philosophy. But really quick, the reason I'm doing this is because I started dieting when I was 12 years old. And went through almost 25 years of dieting, failing, taking diet pills, crash dieting, trying not to eat, binging and purging. And so it was a very long struggle. And once I finally figured out how to solve a lot of these issues myself, I became very passionate about helping other women do it. But most of all, what I've realized is that I wasted so much time dieting and obsessing about losing literally the same 10 pounds over and over and over again.
I love your book, by the way. So Camille's got a book called Love to Lose as well, which was my this came to me just before Easter bank holiday weekend. So that was my Easter bank holiday weekend reading. We had beautiful sunshine in the UK. So I read it over the Easter weekend. I loved it. Picked it up. I've got loads of notes in there as well. Loads of post-it notes for you. So I'm sure we'll kind of touch on that today. But okay. I think there was two parts. For me first, as far as your story, there was two parts to your story that really shocked me. The first one, I think, was the dieting pills. Now, I've had an experience of dieting pills as an adult, kind of like after I met my husband, really. And I had them a little bit. It's more kind of these will help you lose weight. And then I took them and they're very much like, kind of like uppers, weren't they? They make you kind of buzzy and stuff.
Amphetamines.
Thank you, that's the word, amphetamines. So I was like, I took them, we both took them for a few days and went, this is a bit strange, not doing this anymore. But you were quite young, weren't you, when you were taking them? I was really surprised because it's not something I'm aware of as a younger child.
Yeah, I was taking them in high school, actually. And what's funny about that is that what you just said, I don't feel good. It's like amphetamines, uppers. There wasn't a conversation about that. That was, in the mid 80s. Nobody was talking about how diet pills were horrible for you or that they were uppers or amphetamines. And all of my friends were taking them. And even, my mom, she never said to me, "You're fat, you need to lose weight." But she and all of her friends were also doing these crazy things, taking diet pills, doing Slim Fast. And I don't know if you know what that is, that beverage that you just drink. And that's all you,
yeah. That's all you have all day.
You drink all day. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the diet pills didn't look abnormal to me because all my friends were taking them. But like we would not eat for 2 days in a row and trying to go to school and focus in class and it was crazy. But yeah, it didn't look abnormal because everybody was doing it. So
I want to touch on the diet thing because it's kind of my favorite chapter in your book.
Okay.
It's something I talk about to clients all the time. So kind of two of my kind of like mantras are like diets don't work, quite simply.
Yes,
diets don't work, which I think it might even be the title of your, if not, it's very similar. And the other one is nutrients, not calories, and kind of changing the way that we look at the food we're eating into terms of we all know that 100 calories of chips or crisps is not the same as 100 calories of an apple. So it's that nutrient status. And I really, again, If I could have written a book, I never wanted to write a book. And when I was reading your book, I'm like, oh, this is the book I should have written.
You could write, you write your own book. You would be amazing at it. Yes.
If I do, I will
I want to read it
to you. Yeah. But it was the dieting one that really kind of got me, because I'm like, yes, this is exactly, I was almost like out loud going, yes, this is what I do. So I'd love kind of just you to kind of break it down a little bit and explain to the listeners, because they'll have heard it from me, but I want to hear them to hear it from someone else. And they know it's not just me saying it. What is your take on why diets don't work? Sort of the key reasons why they don't work.
Definitely. Well, first of all, diets, they do not work. It's because of the structure that they all have, and they all have it. It is not you. Diets don't not work because you are a failure and, it's your fault and you have no willpower and you just can't stick to it. They don't work because they have lots of features in common. So here are a few of them. First of all, they're one size fits all. So like if you go on a diet and then I go on a diet, you may have a totally different life than I do. Some people have children, some people don't, some people work full-time, some people don't. And so it doesn't factor in your individual life and your preferences, your food preferences. So that's one feature. Obviously they're all or nothing. You have to change everything you do overnight, and you have to change a lot of the things that you do. So that requires willpower, and willpower backfires because it gives you a feeling, it creates a state of resistance in your body. And if you eat emotionally, like I do, I have to fight that tendency, or override it at least. But if you eat emotionally to make yourself feel better, when the resistance builds and it gets to the point where you feel so miserable and, you're trying to use willpower and it's running out, what are you going to do? You're going to eat to make yourself feel better. And then you fail, quote unquote, air quotes, fail. And then you feel like crap about yourself. And then you start all over again. And every time you do that, every time you go on a diet and you fail at the diet, your confidence gets chipped away at a little bit more every single time. And then you feel incapable of doing just about anything. Another reason they don't work is that you don't change your habits. And that's the key, is you want to change your habits. You want to start from today, and it's a never-ending journey. It's always a journey of constant improvement, self-awareness for your entire life. Like it never ends. So if you can just start today and commit to, I'm going to change my habits to feel better, to feel good about myself, to feel confident in myself. So on a diet, you don't change your habits, you just change the menu, And then when the diet's over, even if you're able to stick to it, and I have before, I've stuck to a diet, I've lost 5 or 10 pounds, I felt great. And then what happened? I went right back to what I always do, my same habits. I didn't change any of my habits. Those are 3 of the really big reasons that they don't work, is that they make you feel like a failure, worst of all, and you blame yourself for the failure. And it's not you, it's the diets.
Yeah. So we're going to put all your links in the show notes, but you have kindly said that you'll send the listeners kind of a guide to how to set up their kitchen.
Yes.
And I want to know kind of what is in your kitchen that we can take away.
It's very clean right now because I knew that I was doing this, but this also doubles as my office. So I have to make a point of keeping it clean so I can just function and do my job well. But I always tell people, so I think, first of all, people don't realize how much their environment has an effect on every single thing that they're doing.
Yes.
It's pushing you to do everything that you do constantly, but we're so used to seeing what's around us. We're so used to looking at it that we don't notice it anymore. But you really can set your environment up, not just so that it's organized and neat and whatever, but so that it can make decisions for you. So studies have shown over and over and over again, just by inserting barriers into like a bad habit, or putting barriers in between you and a bad habit, and then also removing barriers and proactively setting up a good habit, things that you want to engage in, it really works. Like having to take an extra step of getting, a bag of chips. If you put it inside a Tupperware container and you put it on a higher shelf, you're not going to be nearly as likely to, if it's just sitting on the counter and you grab it. So I am a type A psychotic neat freak. And so I know that everyone is not like me, but just getting into your kitchen, decluttering, getting rid of, plates and, dishes that you got for a wedding gift that you're never going to use, and say, maybe one day, if you hadn't used it in a year, you need to get rid of it. So, there's that. And then I think a lot of people don't have the most basic equipment, to cook. And so I always say, if you want to eat healthy and you want to change how you eat and change your overall diet, you must do a little bit of cooking. You do not have to be a gourmet cook. And this is coming from someone who literally could not boil pasta. So just doing that, boiling some pasta and heating up some, frozen broccoli in the microwave and putting it on top with some salt is better than DoorDash. You know what I mean? Like it gives you confidence that you're actually taking steps is the most important thing. But if you don't have the proper equipment, and most people don't because their kitchen is so overloaded with stuff they don't use, that's a barrier.
I just would like to do my quick fire rounds with you before we go. If that's okay.
Oh no. Yes, of course.
It's kind. It's kind. So my first question for you is heels or trainers?
Trainers. And I love that you call it trainers, tennis shoes, whatever.
Oh, trainers. Yeah. What would you call it? Tennis shoes, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I call it tennis shoes. Yeah.
Tennis shoes. Yeah. Trainers. I have my
trainers.
I have my new Nikes on today and they're lovely. They're
nice.
like air. So I'm bouncing around quite a lot and I have a little skirt.
Comfort.
Comfort. Definitely. Definitely. Sushi or pizza?
Sushi.
Oh.
I don't eat fish. I eat veggie sushi, but
yes,
love
of course
it.
You're vegetarian, aren't you? But veggie sushi, my friend made some vegan sushi the other day and it was amazing.
Yum. It's so good. Yeah.
Beer or cocktail?
Cocktail.
God, love it.
I hate beer.
Beach or ski?
Beach.
Oh, love it. Love it. And my final question for you is summer or winter?
I guess I would say summer, although I love Christmas and I love when it starts to get cold and you can put on a sweater. I don't know. That's a tough one.
It is, isn't it? Because I'm a bit like you. I go immediately, I think summer. I'm like, no, actually, I like winter. I like the fire. We've got a lot of fire at home and I love my blanket. I'm very attached to my blanket. In fact, even in the summer.
You know what I do? I turn my air down to like 65. Well, y'all use Celsius, but anyway, I turn it down cold and I have a little gas logs fire and I turn it on. It's such a waste of money, but yeah, I like to cozy up.
Exactly. And I think we in the not summer months, but this time of year in the UK, so we kind of spring weather, and so our central heating has got off. And actually, I lit the fire, I don't think it was last night, the night before. So when I'm recording, this is the end of April, because it's not going out in April. But I use the fire more this kind of time of year and autumn than any other, because I don't want to put the heating on so it's not cold.
True.
But actually, when you get, like you said, when you sit down for a couple of hours at night and kind of watching your Netflix and stuff, you do want that little bit of cozy up, don't you?
It's awesome. Yes. I love that.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it today. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Well, you too, Wendy, and thank you so much for having me. I absolutely loved it. And I would love to do it again. So yeah.
Oh, let's do that. Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Perfect.
Thank you for listening to the Are You Really Going to Eat That podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, why not share it with your family and friends? And the best way to help me get out to a wider audience would be to leave me a review. So if you just got a couple of minutes, if you popped into iTunes and just scroll down to the bottom, click 5 stars, of course, and leave me a review, that really helps our ratings. And to make sure you get every episode in your inbox on a Wednesday as it's released, remember to click subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Tune in again next week for the latest episode.